Hi all, today I would like to talk about career goals. Um, Obviously one of them would be a Master of Social Work. But in that and in the last 2 years of being in UNE and trying to figure out what it is exactly I want to do, I thought that maybe mental health was the only portion of what I wanted to do. Um, Although finding out that there is a um, other side to social work. There is um, substance abuse, there's mental illness, there's child protective services, there's adult protective services. There's a lot of things that you can go into. I know for a fact that I don't want to go into CPS or anything that has to do with children because I think that I would burn out quickly there. Um, I don't think that I want to do anything that pertains to substance abuse, which is what my current internship is and my field placement is. I am in a rehabilitation house, and I find it to be, I can't find the right word. It can be hard. It can be draining because a lot of the people there like to manipulate, and they're a product of the drugs they used or the alcohol that they used, and it can be just draining. I mean, mentally exhausting. I do work in mental health currently, and then I go straight to substance abuse program, and that in itself can be really tough. But I know from being in UNE and doing some of my classes here that many times when it comes to substance abuse, there was an original mental health diagnosis, and then comes the dual diagnoses, which seems to be a majority of the people who I'm working with in my field placement. A lot of them have mental health issues that just weren't um, cared for properly, and they weren't dealt with, so they self-medicated any way they knew how, and one thing led to the other, and it just started, progressively getting worse until they ended up here. I think I've said before that most are mandated, um, and by mandated, I mean they had a choice of whether going to jail or coming here. They still can leave. It's still technically a voluntary program, but if they leave, the ones who have decided to come here instead of jail will go back to jail. So my career goal is to gain as much knowledge as I can in the substance abuse field. I would like to gain a little bit of knowledge in the CPS field as well, but I don't want to work there. But I think it would be, a good opportunity to become a well-rounded social worker. Um, I like to be diverse in a lot of things, um, diverse in everything, not specifically culturally, although that is a huge part of what we do. We have a lot of different cultures in our program that come in and out, and even in our mental health, I have a couple different cultures that are my clients. It can be a little bit tough sometimes to break that barrier. It's a little bit tough not only for um, race, it's also tough with age. And another career goal of mine would to really be able to understand not so much an age barrier, but the gap. A lot of my clients are older, so sometimes it's hard to make conversation. Sometimes it can just be hard to make conversation because they're so mentally ill. They have no conversation skills whatsoever. With the substance abuse program I'm with, they like to talk about a lot. And they're a little bit closer in age, so it's easier to talk, but then comes that professional boundary where you have to keep it, straight and narrow and not let them manipulate into getting any type of personal information. You really don't want that. You don't want them thinking that you're their friend. And lately they have been challenging me on my status of authority there. Which has been backed up by other staff members and myself. So I guess another one of my career goals would be to be able to really assert myself straight from the beginning and not, while I'm learning, still have that boundary of I'm here for one reason, and that's to learn or to work or to whatever. But I think I find I'm a little too nice in the beginning, and that can kind of get misconstrued as, hey, I want to be your friend. So that's something I think I'd like to learn as well. I guess my question for you is, in your career, now, not necessarily in where you work or what you've done in the past, but what you would like to do in the future, as far as changing your goals, and if something new has popped up while doing your internship that made you change a goal, what would they be?